Well, here it comes.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Coaching Ward. I'm Adam Wardlaw. Got my brother Jack Wardlaw here on the line. Be sure, if you hadn't already, to drop a comment with some topics you'd like us to cover in our weekly episodes. New episodes out every Sunday on Spotify, Apple. Our full video podcast is on YouTube. And check us out on all of our socials. Jack, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Good, man. I've been having to answer to my kids all week about if I have a TikTok or a podcast, this and that. They've been hounding me all week about it, but
The word's getting out. I sent you the screenshot earlier. I think we've basically got SEC territory. We've got God's country kind of. We've got some listeners sprinkled in through the whole kind of Sunbelt Southeastern spread, some folks out in California. So, it's been nice to kind of see that it's not just, South Carolina and Texas, but we got some folks that listen to us blab on about, some of our stories from our small town days. Kids ain't giving you too big of a hard time, are they?
no, they're the same ones that'll be liking every video that comes up or commenting on it and everything. But they've just been asking. Random kid will be like, "You have a podcast?" I'm like, I do one with my brother. Yeah. They're like, then they find your TikTok, and then it's a whole other game. They're asking me,
Yeah.
he's famous, this and that, this and that. And I'm like, yeah.
I wish, I feel like when you hear famous, you would think early retirement, things like that. But I just kind of I figure if people like watching what I do every day, I'll keep putting it out there. And some of them go crazy. I had a video about spring football this past week. I think last I checked, it was at like 250,000 views. But I'll never forget that first. It was a random Wednesday night, I think. You get home to the missus, she's asking you what you did all day, and it's middle of football season. It's a 16-hour workday, so I ain't got the energy to explain out all the million things that we do in the day as coaches. And so I was being a smart butt and just kind of strung it all together with some video clips, and we sat there and watched it, and she was like, "That's kind of interesting." So compiled it all together, put it on TikTok. I woke up and I had like 1 million views or something crazy like that. The Cardinals had commented on it, and yeah, that was wild because you try teaching, when something like that's going on, teaching high school kids, it's an impossible task, but
yeah,
it's been
if
fun.
it works though, I had them, they started asking me if I'm going to do a day in the life of a South Carolina high school football coach. And I'm like, I don't think the facilities compare. I don't know if people would be as interested to watch it per se.
Yeah, I think people just want to see, they want to see first person point of view. They want to see, all these little behind the scenes things. I mean, you think about the stuff that I end up watching sometimes. I watched a video of a dude making a McDouble at McDonald's.
I'll watch those all night. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, like, that's a true day in the life. Like, that dude he makes 300 burgers a day, sometimes no pickles, sometimes extra onions, and I sit there and watch that. But I mean, I think people just want to, they want the insight into just random jobs and things that maybe they never thought about before that coaches have to do.
It's like the new age version of, you remember those videos on YouTube, those two random guys just like building a fort in the woods? You ever seen
the
that?
Indian guys building like pools with just like
Their
sticks and
hands.
stuff. And a whole night later, they got a freaking 8-foot deep pool, like, somehow.
They got a whirlpool tub in that thing. Yeah.
You try to do it in America, and it takes like an excavator or whatever. And you got to dig out and grade and all that. And those guys did it in the jungle in like 12 hours.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I used to watch those for hours, though. I ain't even gonna lie.
You might, you might need to give it a whirl, especially we got spring football coming up. That can give a little. There's obviously some insight there. Over the summer when I came out and visited, and you showed me around, Old Palmetto High School has kind of done some work to their stuff since the days I was there, at least.
Yeah, we're trying to, it's an older school, older football stadium. We're trying to get everything on the up and up. It's getting there. We just had our field house renovated, so that'll be a nice upgrade. I mean, that wasn't even that old. It was just kind of designed poorly. It wasn't really built for what it needed to do.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like some of the talking heads or the people who are in charge of making some of these upgrades or renovations and all that. It's amazing sometimes how little input they seek from the coaches or people in charge of athletics, and just things that would make a whole lot more sense than.
Yeah.
You go some places and you're like, why would they build this nice whatever, but it kind of is laid out like this, or I don't know. It's just interesting sometimes. Just don't know. They don't know because they're
Yeah,
not in it every day.
it's weird though. They don't talk to the people that are in it every day or will be in it every day. But whatever. That's none of my business. But
What's if you had a wish list of a football facility renovation or upgrade, like what would kind of be at the top of your list?
top of my list, I mean, this is selfish because I am a PE teacher, but I would redo the gym. I think it's just time for complete overhaul, new floor, new bleachers, everything. But again, that's probably just because I'm in there every day. But my main thing would probably be the football stadium. I would move it. That track they built behind the school when we were in
Hmm.
high school. I would move it there, build a field house on one end of it. Ideally, it's, nice, has a weight room, everything, glass front. You could see out and it just looks good. But it just seems like it's kind of set up for a football stadium anyway. You have a parking lot, you have a hill, you could build the seats into the hill. I don't know. But that would probably be number one.
Yeah, I think it's funny you mentioned that because I always thought there was something special about when a school has all their athletic stuff kind of within arm's reach of each other and it's not
Yeah.
all scattered out, and it just seems like there was some conduciveness and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like people have to spend the money when they got it when it comes to schools, and so there's no grand master plan that they know this is what they're going to do. It's like, hey, we got this amount of money, we got to spend it. Where can we spend it? Then they just kind of throw up whatever from there. But shoot, we went down to school in College Station this past year. It was about like a 4-hour drive. Yeah, they're a traditionally good 5A school, got some history there, but we had to cross like a street from the locker room that we had the kids change in and where we had our buses and all of our stuff, our game day stuff, the snacks, the water coolers, you name it. All that was literally across the street at the high school's campus. And we've got to go on a Friday night, like, and cut across traffic with our players and trainers and all that. We got to get the cameras all rolled across, all the storage bins to the sidelines, or if it's going up to the press box. And I guess they had the last laugh because they ended up beating us in a pretty tight game. I think they won by 1 point or something like that. But like I'm sitting there at halftime, and by the time I got down from the press box and cut across the field and then cut across the street, and we only got X amount of time left. We had to get all the kids over there, do the adjustments. We're watching the iPads and all that. Then we got to make our way all the way back. Like, it's like, who thought of this? Like, at some point, did we? They got no traffic guards, no street lights. Like, we were sitting there, got to
Just
hold up traffic ourselves. But
roaming through the dark.
man, since we're on the topic, what's some of the nicer setups you've kind of seen in your day when y'all have gone to some places high school wise?
Yeah. Let's see. We had a jamboree this past season. It was at Greenwood High School, and that press box, man,
Well, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. I've
incredible,
been down there.
incredible. I mean, you walk out. We went up to set up the cameras, and first of all, there's multiple boxes. Multiple coaches' boxes, which is insane. And then you look in the middle, they have these like booster, big booster seats, nice leather, custom logo on them, right at the 50-yard line, glass wall. Incredible. A
Mm-hmm.
surprising one would be Crescent High School, who has really put money into their athletic fields right now. I mean, turf's good, and it's a smaller school. Their stadium's not massive, but they have a field house on the end of the field. It's just all new, and so it's all pretty good.
I think I saw a picture. Yeah, they got like a jumbotron and all that stuff over there, don't they?
It's
Yeah, they're doing
nice,
it right
man.
out there.
It's
That's good to
nice.
see. Yeah, I think out here the year before last, we made a pretty deep run. We made it to the state semifinals in FA Division One out here, and our first round playoff game. I think it was our first round. No, it might have been. It was second round. Second round playoff game. We go to Allen High School, which is like that's the one everybody knows about, right? Cost however many tens of millions of dollars, and
Yeah.
when we pulled up to that place, you talk about just a setup. So, I mean, everybody's probably seen the pictures. It's kind of gone viral here and there over the years, but all of their athletic stuff is kind of built into the bottom level of this stadium. So, like on your bottom floor, it might even be below ground. I don't even know. They've got golf rooms. Their weight room is 50 yards, if not more, and it
What
goes
is a
along the
golf room?
sideline.
What is a
I
golf
mean, they
room?
got like the simulators and all that kind of stuff. Get
No
places where they can
way.
drive off. Yeah. Oh, dude, they got all kinds of stuff over there. Yeah. The weight room's insane, and then across from the weight room is like a 50-yard stretch of turf where they can do all their
Man.
40-yard dash testing and stuff like that. And the wrestling rooms down there. I mean, I did a whole circle around that bottom floor. and just the stuff that I was like, oh my gosh, there's a whole, whatever down here, a whole
Yeah.
locker room of this, a whole extra room for this. Like it's pretty wild. And then you go upstairs, like you said, and it's got the nice boxes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's, especially like in the 5A, 6As, like there are a number of pretty good setups. I mean, there's hardly any that are kind of like that. That one's kind of one of a kind.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
more and more building them to kind of model that. But even like your average stadiums, yeah, usually's got the nicer press box with some media seating and then the coaches' boxes and all that
Yeah,
kind of
that's
stuff.
nice. It's not like a shipping container on stilts with a fence.
Well, ours kind of is. I mean, it's probably due for some renovating, but it gets the
Man.
job done, I guess. But they
All I'm
built the
saying-
other high school in our district a new press box, so I feel like we got maybe one coming our way here in the future, at least a renovation of ours. But
All I'm saying is if I work there, they better not give me a key to that golf room because every planning period, everything, I'd be in there just swinging because
yeah,
I love to play golf, but I still can't hit it straight, and so I need all the work I can get. I would be in there every day. I'm not
speaking
kidding.
of just crazy setups, so our district, I guess it's a couple years old now. They built. You remember when we were in school, we had like a career and technology center, right? A place where you go and kind of learn some trades and all this and that. So we opened up something similar, but it got described to us as a shopping mall with a school built on top of it, and it's built around this 5,000 seat arena, and then it's got another 800 seat theater, and we call it the OC, and it's a beautiful facility. But I mean, they've got like a preschool in there, food courts and boutiques and all this and that. Yeah, there's
This
like
is
a
part of the
wrestling.
school.
The school district owns it, yeah, and then private businesses rent out space in the OC to the school district, and it's open to the public. And then on the second floor, you've got classrooms where some of those career and technology classes go on. They learn some trades and all that. There's like a whole construction lab in it, like off one end of the building. There's literally a room where they can like do some mini construction projects and stuff, and
Wow.
it's pretty wild. But we do our graduations there now, and we'll easily put, I don't know what the capacity is on the arena. It might be closer to 10,000, but it gets pretty full at graduations and host concerts and stuff there. But I can't even remember why. This up. We're talking about golf simulators. So our school district is opening up a lot of these academies, and one of the academies that they're opening up is a golf academy. And so they bought a couple of these golf simulators apparently. And so if you want to get into the golf academy, then you'll go take some classes at the OC. You got access to the simulators. I'm like, where was all this like
Yeah.
back in the day? Like, I mean, this is like foreign territory, man. Like these kids are spoiled.
And they don't know how good they have it, and
Absolutely not.
they're probably too lazy to even go do it. Some of them.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, some of them, maybe if they're signing up to go to this school and their parents got to take them to this special place, then there's probably some buy-in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. Like some of the nicest places you go to, like the people just take it for granted. Like
Yeah.
you could tell they never went out to some random town and
Yeah.
who knows where and had to go through it.
They've never been in the trenches before, man. They don't know how
That's
it is.
right, man. Well, yeah, it's getting to be springtime. You guys got plans for spring football coming up?
Yeah, so we can start in May. We get 10 days. I think the schedule's still, it's not set in stone yet, but I'm excited for it. I think we're going to have a lot of kids coming out. Obviously I hope our spring sports are deep in the playoffs. I'm not sure where the playoffs would interfere with our calendar, that kind of thing, but I hope they go deep, but I also hope we have about 100 something kids out there. I hope we run out of helmets, but last year I think we hit 90 something kids. And obviously that whittles down, as spring goes through and summer continues. I'm excited. I'm ready to get back out there. We had March, we had open season, so we were able to do a little bit of stuff, and that really kind of got the juices going again. I'm ready to get out there.
It's amazing. Like you take a month or so off, and like me, I do basketball as a second sport, and so I'm removed from football for a few months, right there in the middle after the season's kind of done and all that, and. Yeah, when you step back in, you're like, oh man, we're back, baby.
Yeah,
Like,
strap it on, baby.
that
Let's go.
testosterone gets going. Like, I don't know, just the energy level, like it picks up.
Can't
How
beat it,
many?
man.
How do you guys structure your spring ball usually?
Yeah, so a lot of it, we may have kids out there that either weren't on the team last year, never played football, whatever the case is. Obviously, we have some of our returning guys too. But a lot of it is, skill development, basic fundamentals, and a little bit of install, just so when we get to the summer, we can really hit the ball rolling, but or hit the ground running. Again, it's only 10 days. We're kind of limited in what we can get done in those 10, but we definitely like to get some contact in if we can, just to kind of get the juices flowing, get everybody ready. Because once we hit the summer, man, it comes quick. We go 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, that kind of stuff. And before you know it, we're getting into the fall. So,
Yeah, I
just
think
a
that's
little
one
bit.
of the I think that's one of the things that I've noticed is a big change. Like for us in the summer, we really can't do those 11-on-11 camps and all that kind of stuff. It's really got to be strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
We use a company that comes out and runs that for us, and we're kind of there to supervise our guys, make sure our guys are showing up. If they're not there, we're texting them like, "Hey, why aren't you at PC this morning getting your work in?"
Yeah.
As we get closer into July, we really lock in, and so throughout June in July, we're kind of doing skills time, and we can't necessarily make it mandatory, but it's highly encouraged. You just got done working out, you might as well stay another 45
Yeah.
minutes, and we can get some individual stuff done. But you can't wear helmets or anything like that. And
You can't
if
even
you
wear
go to it,
helmets.
if you go to a
Wow.
7-on-7, it can't be a school coach that's coaching the 7-on-7. So basically,
Really?
I don't know how you guys do it. We're the types that we're not going to go doing anything fancy defensively, at least, to go try to win 7-on-7s. We're
No.
going to play the coverages we play in the fall. And
Yeah.
so, we harp on that. We've got some guys as they kind of come up through the ranks, they understand the situations when they call certain things. And so, like, we'll go to SMU. We've done that the last couple summers and do a big 7-on-7 tournament type deal and get some games in over the course of a day or two. But it's got to be player led, or you got to have a parent or a former player that comes back and kind of coaches the team.
Yeah.
But we try to coach them up as much as we can leading up to that in those skill
Interesting.
sessions. And then we're there kind of in lawn chairs watching it all happens. In between games, we're switching fields or whatever. Like, we can have conversations with the guys like, hey, that last game, they did this, might want to do this next time. But we can't necessarily be like right there on the sideline with them. But it's crazy. Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't have
crazy.
expected that. I figured y'all could, just like we do. We have team 7-on-7s. We're going to play another high school in a 7-on-7, or we have an 11-on-11 kind of camp thing. But yeah, wow, I didn't think that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a switch up. I mean, in some ways I like it because I think the kids do get tired of kind of hearing your voice in the weight room, and so we
Yeah.
use that performance course that comes in, and
Yeah.
Coach Flo that leads ours. He's done it for the last 4 years now. He's a guy that the kids trust, and we trust him as coaches to make sure the kids are putting the work in. But it's somebody else that's barking at them, and we're kind of just there, like to
Right.
be the backup or just keep eyes on guys.
Here's a question. Do y'all play music in the weight room?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
the DJ?
yeah. It depends. We run ours based off of a clock. And so usually whoever's got to keep the clock, for the sets and all that, usually they'll go ahead and have the music, because if I've got to make an announcement or something, I'll turn the volume down, make an announcement out, call on a kid to break us out, and we rotate to the next station. So I've been the DJ sometimes. Our head coach is the DJ sometimes. Our head freshman coach, if we're lifting the freshman in the morning, he might DJ. But wow, have you ever DJed before?
Every day, man. Every day I'm bumping
All
it in
right.
there. Of course, I kind of do it every day, all day in the gym anyway. I like to have music going.
Mhm.
Just makes it a better
Yeah.
day.
It gets the people going.
Yeah, exactly. It's provocative. But yeah, no, I'm hitting them with everything, man. I'll switch it up. I'll hit them with some NLE Choppa, Boss Man D-Lo. You may not even know who those people are, but
I have no
these
clue.
kids love them.
I know who Big X the Plug is. Like, he's a
Yeah,
Texas guy.
love Big X the Plug. But then I'll switch it up. I'll hit them with some 2010s, like Lil Wayne, Red Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw some real good stuff in there, and they're always like, "Man, turn this, play something better, play some." What's his
They don't
name?
appreciate the classics.
Who's the guy they always ask for? He's
Probably
terrible.
probably NBA Youngboy or somebody like that.
Play some Youngboy. Oh, play some Youngboy, coach. That's trash.
It's all those
Get out
just
of here.
like, don't get me wrong. We listen to some guys that mumbled some, but like nowadays it's out of hand. It's the
terrible.
mumbling plus the auto tune. Like you can't even tell.
And
It sounds like when you try to plug your microphone or headset into like a speaker or something, and you didn't get it right, and it just makes that like kind of sound.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what it sounds like for 3 minutes straight in the song. But
And what
I
they
don't know, I
don't
like to switch it up. I like to obviously I got like my clean rap playlist, and I
Yeah.
try to mix in, like you said, the oldies, the oldies, the new ones, the all timers. Um, yeah, I don't know if I ever go true straight country music. I don't know if I go that far.
I
I
will in
might do like
class, but not the weight room. Yeah.
yeah, I might do the collaborations. I like the Morgan Wallen and Lil Durk song, and
Yeah.
Bailey Zimmerman's got the new song with Big X the Plug that I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I might go that far with it. But then classic rock, love some classic rock.
Yeah.
If the group's being a bunch of fools that morning, I might play some circus music or something.
Yeah.
Just try to set the vibe right. These guys don't know what they're doing in the weight room.
I had a group of kids. This was PE. This wasn't weightlifting. We were doing whatever, and I blew the whistle. I'm like, all right, it's time to pack it up, go get dressed, whatever. Class, we got about 10 minutes left. And I hope they didn't hear me, but they didn't they didn't respond at all. And so, I'm petty. I get mad. I go over to my computer. I start playing Barney's little cleanup song, like clean up, clean up.
Yeah.
And, a few of them are like, oh, what? So they start to clean up. Still a few, stragglers. So I'm like, all right. So I find this, I don't even know what it's called, 120 hertz, just a high pitched noise that just torments
Blast
your
'em.
ears, right? And I start blaring it through the speaker, and that gets their attention, right? And so I'm using peer pressure because everybody else is yelling at them, like, hell, put the balls up so it'll turn it off. Put the balls up. Yeah. Yeah. I'm petty in there.
Peer pressure can be positive,
Exactly. People don't understand that, man. But no, I like every kind of music. I feel like we both, grew up listening to everything from Conway Twitty to Lil Wayne the Game, rock, anything. I try to
Do
switch
y'all
it up.
have you talk about the cleanup song. Do y'all have I don't know how this happened for us, but at the end of all of our workouts, it seems
Like a finisher song?
Yeah, like a finisher song. For
Yeah.
some reason, like ours, when the hay is in the barn and all of the sets are done and all that, we fire up "Wipe Me Down" by Lil Boosie.
Yeah,
and like the kids lose their mind, but they're sitting there just cleaning up. Of course, they're dancing and all that, having a good time. But
Yeah.
I mean, that one's become like our staple.
Yeah, so we definitely, I don't think the kids even realize it, but I'll play TNT by AC/DC. But a one I really like is Set It Off. That's Boosie too, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'll play that. That's one of the older songs that the kids actually resonate with. They love that song, or they're just like, set this, whatever. But
Yeah, the clean version.
yeah, it has to be. We're in a school. Come on, people. It's always clean. That's the hardest part, honestly, is finding clean versions for all these mumble rap songs.
Oh man, it's impossible to find.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like finding the needle in the haystack just to get it on Spotify.
I have Spotify Premium, personal account, and I don't put any restrictions on it. I'm a grown person, and my music can have a cuss word or two. It's fine.
Yeah.
When I'm at home doing my own thing, whatever. But you're in school, you can't have that. You got to control it real better. So I even went through the effort to get a Spotify family account so that I could make a school account that would filter explicit content. And they don't realize I went through all that effort. I'm paying a little extra money every month just to have this music. And then you're going to get mad at me because all your songs you requested are grayed out because they all explicit and you don't even know what that means. But yeah.
They might need to take it as a lesson. They need to reevaluate some of the stuff they're listening to.
Right. You were 14 years old. What are you listening to? Come on.
Gangster rap, talking about killing people and all this and
Yeah.
that. Man.
Crazy,
But then
man.
same kid that he's going and he's a custodian at the movie theaters or something like that, but he's listening about shooting up a store on the way there and all
sweeping
that.
the popcorn, just bumping in his head, just going through.
I can't lie. Sometimes riding into work in the mornings, I'm on my way to go be a public school teacher and a football coach.
I got it bumping every morning.
I'm rocking and rolling to some
bass in the truck is bumping,
music.
man. I'm going.
Man,
have to.
Back to spring ball.
Yeah.
You said you guys get about 10 days. How many days of team periods, or I know the circumstances might be a little different with numbers and all that, but do y'all do an actual spring game, or how do you guys kind of structure it?
We didn't do one last year, but I think we are looking at doing a spring showcase this year. Now, whether that's an actual game or whether it's kind of simulated stuff, but I do believe people, the fans will be able to come in and watch if they want to. It's in the evening. We will be doing that. But as far as practice, we keep it, pretty similar to how we would run our practice in the fall, just to kind of get that routine in. We'll have some indie, a little bit of team, a little install. We might split overs D, and then of course, come together for some team periods and some special teams. But nothing too crazy. Again, it's only 10 days. You can't go too deep.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it too. You want to get that right blend of just enough. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes in spring ball, it becomes an offense versus defense thing. And
for me, it's every day that way.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit combative, and
the
vibes get soured a little bit sometimes from all the banging around. But
because offense always getting beat, man. That's why they always mad.
It's funny. It's if offense had a good day, it's a great practice.
Yeah,
especially depending on who your head coach and stuff is.
Yeah.
But if defense has a great day, it's probably the worst practice ever because offense probably didn't have a good day.
Yeah.
But
and so I don't know. Our head coach, Coach Norton, love him to death, great dude, offensive coach, right? And so, like you just said, I'm having a great day. We're doing great. Stopped you every time you try to score. I'm hyped. Defense is hyped. We go, everybody up at the end of practice. He's laying into everybody how bad practice was. I'm looking at our D coordinator like, you see that? Whatever. But then, on the flip side, they score 1 out of 4 times, and, it's a great day at practice. Whatever.
Yeah. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Yeah, whatever.
It's funny how it goes. But, yeah, we kind of do our spring ball a little bit similar. I don't think on any given day we're going to go necessarily over 2 hours. Like, it's going to be, hour 45 maybe, just depending on where we're at in the weeks. We might go 4 weeks or whatever the number is. Try to balance out those days where we're maybe in shells and shorts and trying to keep the contact, the physicality a little lighter, work on more group stuff for indie time, try to have less contact. And then the days where we're going to go team, we're really going to go and try to get after it for however many plays it is, 24 plays or whatever in the team period. But, for us, it's a big time evaluation. I don't know how you guys kind of handle dividing up the reps and stuff, but, as we're in the first week of spring ball, we try to do a good job of everybody's going to get whatever the number is of reps. Like, we're going to get tape on everybody. And so then we're going to go back as coaches, we're going to evaluate. And then as spring kind of goes on, we're going to filter that number down to, who probably needs to get more reps. Obviously, so-and-so maybe needs to get some reps cut because we gave him some time here and it just wasn't cutting it. We got however many other guys that might be able to do the job better.
Right.
But we kind of have to balance it out. I mean, you guys do it all outside of the school day, right? Like y'all are usually school's out and then y'all kind of get it started after.
Yeah, we do it after school. Start 3. We get out at 3:25. So about 3:45, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, our school day's a little longer. It's like our school day technically is over at like 4:20, 4:15, something like that. But our last period of the day is our football class. And we also have a football class at the beginning of the day for the freshmen. So it's really interesting in springtime, especially, you got to do a spring practice in the morning with your first period guys that are freshmen. And they kind of get some benefit because you got the same number of coaches out there, but it's a lot smaller group.
Yeah.
And so they're going to get a lot of reps. And then we come back in the afternoon and do the big practice with the JV and varsity guys. And then depending on how some schedules had to get changed for whatever the reasons were, we might have a few freshman guys that we get them switched to 8th period for whatever the circumstances are. But so, you're talking 200 football players, 150 to 200 football players in 8th period. And when you're talking about trying to get guys reps that first week, like you got to be really creative.
Yeah.
And then it gets easier as you go on and you filter it all down.
Well,
we don't necessarily do a spring game though, even though we got maybe the numbers for it.
Yeah.
Our big thing that our head coach has been about, which I think is a pretty cool idea, is we'll do a night practice. Usually it's like that 3rd week of spring football, where we've kind of had 2 weeks on our belt. We've had the pads on. We've got a lot of stuff installed. We'll do it's a little bit of indie time, and then it's going to be a whole lot of team time. Mixing some 7-on-7 and some inside run, maybe in the middle, but it's a lot of team on that day. And we're trying to invite as many college coaches that happen to be in Dallas, Fort Worth, visiting schools and stuff. We try to invite them to that night practice. We like to do it at night because, at 3:30, everybody's got practice going on. So those guys have to go all these different places. But there's really only however many schools, maybe one, I don't know what the number is, but that do that night practice that don't start till 7:30. And we've been fortunate to have some really, really high quality players that get a lot of interest for some really big programs. So we've had some good crowds of college coaches come out, and we'll invite the parents and all that. Like you said, it's more of a
Yeah.
showcase. I'll never forget. It was, I can't remember how many years ago now it was. It was a while back, but we were doing the night practice. And so we've got a good number of college coaches there. Man, we had this kid, this poor soul. He looked like one of those starving kids that were in the, give $5 a month and you can get them fed
The Arms of the
commercial.
Angel commercials.
Yeah, like, hey, bless his heart. It's a great kid, just,
Great song,
but
too. I might play that
I'll
more in
never
class.
forget. He comes out to practice and like his jersey's halfway on, his pads are halfway on. He looks like a mess. But if you didn't know any better, you might would think like kid's got some twitch and all that. And I saw, I'll never forget I can't remember who the college was. I won't put him on blast of doing a poor job scouting, but they see this kid come walking out and they're like, man, that's a good looking kid. What's he? And I'm like, him? Like, y'all are interested in him? Like, dude don't have his shoes tied right now, and y'all are talking about wanting to go talk to this kid. But I don't know. It's just fun because you get so many coaches there, and
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
just always bound to be.
That's a cool idea too. Having bringing all the college coaches into. I like that a lot.
Well, it's what the kids want. It's amazing how many kids, like, you can see a totally different effort level when they know there's going to be college coaches around than
I'm about to just
if it was just a.
I'm just gonna start paying people to wear Clemson, Florida State polos. Just to see,
just be standing off to the side like on a cell phone with some khakis. Yes. You would have every day's your best day of practice.
That kid you just talked about made me think of one time this kid came out to practice. I think it was spring, maybe, I don't know. But he comes out and we're going full pads, pants, pads, everything. And this kid comes out in just a girdle, just shoulder pad, like full thing. We got those padded girdles. The pads are built into the girdles, right?
Yeah.
So he comes out there and he doesn't realize it somehow. He's got cleats on, shoulder pads, jersey, helmet strapped up, even like gloves and a girdle. And he didn't. Somebody had to tell him, "Hey, bud, you're wearing underwear out here." Like he had no idea.
Gosh.
But that was
Some of these kids, man. So I stealing a story that I heard from our defensive coordinator. I think they were at a school, one of the last stops they were at before they got to where we're at now, and they had this kid that maybe they said like he had just moved to America, just wasn't really familiar with football and all that, but really athletic. And so just years go by and they're coaching him up, and it gets to like his junior senior year. I think it might have said senior year, but he's out there at spring practice. I think it might have been. A coach from Oklahoma was there and was going to offer him a scholarship because, he's a really athletic kid.
Yeah.
So the coach was like, hey, go over there. That coach is wanting to talk to you for a second. They said the kid came back and was like, oh, yeah, he said I have a scholarship. Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma. Are they Division I? It's like, bro.
That's a blue blood.
Like,
blue blood.
That's a blue blood, dude. Like,
come on, man.
Some of these kids. One of my guys.
He probably asked him where they're located too. Where's y'all school?
Yeah. That was the next question. Man, I got some funny stories about just because we get a lot of kids that I guess maybe being near a big city, maybe you get a lot of folks that migrate in to the country or whatever. But I got a player who moved here, and when he moved here, he didn't really know too much about football, and he's become a heck of a football player. He's a really good football player, but I'll never forget. I asked him who his favorite team was, and he said Alabama. And I was like, kind of random. We're in Texas, but Alabama. I was like, what made you pick Alabama? He's like, well, when I moved here, that's who won the championship, so I'm a fan of them. And I'm like, all right, buddy. Like, that's one way to pick a team.
You know what?
You ain't got to suffer through none of the You ain't got to suffer through none of the tough years or anything like that.
Right,
man.
Yeah,
so how
we don't have too many kids, or really any, that come in from. I guess it is probably just being on the the edge of Dallas, that big area. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it. You always see them in like Hard Knocks, where they like pulled this kid from I don't know Lithuania, wherever, and he's like 6'8".
Yeah,
never played before. And they're gonna put him at tight end. Like, well, let's see if we can do it. Why not?
And it always works out somehow.
Yeah, they always sign him. They always keep him.
They always figure it out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you go, when you guys wrap up spring ball, what kind of does that next phase look like? I mean, I guess it's getting ready for summer by that point.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned earlier y'all are able to do a lot in the summer with your guys, hands-on coaching wise. What is a typical summer day look like for you guys?
So we have weightlifting, we do conditioning, and then a little bit of field work 4 days a week throughout the entire summer. We'll go in about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I get done at 10:30 or 11. About an hour of that's weightlifting, maybe 30 minutes to an hour conditioning, and then we'll jump into some field work where we get to. I love it because obviously there's still limitations. You can't put pads on anything. You can have a helmet, but for me, I can still take my guys out there and hit the sled. You can never get enough of it.
Never enough.
It gives them plenty of time to kind of make sure we're good on all the calls, all the stunts, fronts, everything. But yeah, we do that 4 days a week. We have some 7-on-7s sprinkled in. We'll go to different schools around our area and compete a little bit. We'll do a couple OLDL challenges, some 11-on-11s later in the summer. But yeah, it gets pretty busy in the summer. We do lift every day, condition, field work, and sprinkle in some competition. But it's pretty. I love it just because you're not teaching. As a teacher, you get the summer off, and so you're done at 11.
Yeah.
So
you get to do like a passion of yours. You get to do that, and that's all you have to worry about. And as soon as you're done with that, you get to head on back to the house or whatever you're doing. Make a trip out of it.
Coaches will go eat together, whatever. Yeah. Oh, speaking of, all right. Buddy of mine, you know him. We grew up with him. Texted me the other day. And we were talking about the pizza buffet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people who didn't know, it had closed down after the hurricane came through our area. And I thought it was gone forever. Broke my heart. I used to eat that cheese bread, like put an IV of cheese bread in me, and I'll be a good man. But just got a text the other day from a good friend. I won't say his name, but if you're in Williamston, South Carolina, you know what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, we can say the name. Is it going to have the same name?
It should have the same name, I believe. I hope so. You can't change it. Come on. So it says, just got word that it's official. In 2 to 3 weeks, Williamston will have quality pizza again. MVP is back, baby.
Back like I never left. For you guys, in the last episode, we talked about this. This is the same place. All right, been around since the 90s in Williamston, South Carolina. All you can eat. I mean, I don't know what the prices are here lately with inflation and all that kind of stuff, but it used to be like $7. You go just load up on cheese bread and just you name it. The salad bar where there was no lettuce being consumed. It was just straight ranch.
I mean, I would have
to
carb
dip all the
salad,
pizza in.
Carb salad, croutons, and ranch, baby. That's all you need.
Heck of a combo, dude.
Can't beat it.
But no, they are back. Yeah, I was really worried about that. Whenever word traveled all the way out here to me, I don't know if it was Facebook or something like that, but I saw they were closing after the hurricane and all that caused the damage and stuff. And I was heartbroken. And I remember like stopping class, like, guys, stop what you're doing. We need to have a moment of silence for my childhood pizza place that got shut down. And I'll be dang, the kids had a moment of silence for me. They were feeling me out. But it cut deep, but that makes my heart feel good to
we're back, baby.
They are back. Back like they never left.
And it's great because on Sundays, we do our film and game playing as coaches and stuff. That's my go-to. I'd stop in every Sunday and get 2 cheese breads, bring it into
take it with you?
Take it with me to the defensive room. We'd munch a little bit, break down the game, whatever we got to do. And I can still do that.
Where would be – all right, this made me just think of this. Totally off topic. I mean, totally off topic from spring football. Food's always a great conversation starter. Other than your football office or wherever you would normally do film stuff, where would be the ultimate place to have like a coach's film meeting, opponent prep? Like, what's gonna be the best spot? Because I remember MV Pizza had that separate room with the giant TV, and I'm like, you can take the HDMIs and make something happen. And
let's be honest,
everybody's popping back.
There's a buffet in front of me. I'm not focused on the football. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But no, that'd be a pretty sweet setup. Maybe we can arrange that. If you're the new owner of MV Pizza, reach out. I'd love to come
if you happen to be
meet
listening
over there every Sunday. But not a coffee shop. That's
it's overplayed. People are there trying to write books and stuff, not win ball games.
It would be a good spot. I mean, right now we do it in like our classrooms. My office would be a good spot. But
Yeah, personal office is fine, but I'm thinking like if you could, I don't know, if you could like take out a section of a B-dubs and like
Yeah.
have the TVs like
Yeah.
change to maybe different games or angles or whatever.
No, that'd be good.
A back porch, like if somebody like on staff had a solid back porch, good patio TV, and it wasn't
Blackstone
that
out
hot
there.
outside. Oh, yeah, and you just whatever you wanted to do, like you got the queso coming off the smoker, and you're
Yeah, that'd be good.
bringing it over to the work area.
That'd be
But yeah, I'm
good.
actually yeah, we were talking about it a little bit this before, but I think I'm gonna put up like a tiny house basically in my backyard, and I'm just gonna make it my man cave, and that might be my new little office and
That's the
all
way
my
to
little
do it, man.
projects I got going on. I'll just be able
Yeah.
to retreat out there, and but I'll never forget after games, do y'all when y'all do like your defensive stats and all that, do y'all do all that after the game, or y'all come in Saturday, or you do it on your own Saturday? Because I remember back in the day, we would just stay late Friday night and do all the
Yeah.
tackles and all that stuff, and then
Yeah.
Saturday was just break down the next opponent.
Yeah, so there's no like set thing for all of us that we have to do. Personal preference, I guess. We have a stats guy who um, does a lot of that. But, anything. I'll stay late. I usually stay late on Friday night. We'll go through. I'll just go ahead and start watching the game, grading whatever I got to do, just to get ahead of it because I know I'm gonna sleep in a little bit on Saturday. But other than that, I'll do. Our D coordinator will send out what plays he wants us to kind of, or sorry, no, we'll go ODK the film, which may not have to do this year. I think we're getting huddle assist, but that'll be nice. But if you know, you know. But yeah, so that kind of stuff do on Saturday. I usually do it Saturday while I'm watching college football, just kind of chilling, kind of half and half. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I'll stay late Friday just to kind of go through. A few other coaches do too, just because you can kind of go through fresh on your mind and kind of go through what you just saw. But, kids will always lie about something and then you see it on tape and it's completely different.
Yeah.
Like, Coach, I got triple teamed. Who is triple teaming, dude? Like, nobody's doing that, especially to you. What are you talking about? Anyway, yeah, no. So I'll stay late. What about y'all? What do y'all do?
So because we come in early Saturday mornings and do our staff stuff, usually we try to get out of there, once the film's uploaded. And like you said, I might get a few clips into my grading while it's still fresh. If there's a play I know I want to go back and watch, I might go try to find that point. Or if there was a memorable moment that I know I want to go back and see again, I'm going to go and do all that. But no, if the game's over if it's a 7:30 start and we're done at 10, I would say if it's a home game, hopefully I'm getting home before midnight, hopefully, because then the alarms for 6:45 the next morning because the meeting's starting at 7:30. Where we're
Yeah.
going to do all that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But I can remember, there were times years ago where we would go over to somebody's house afterwards, or we'd sit in the office and watch it all back afterwards. Shoot, there was one year we'd come over to my house. Obviously we'd watch it on the TVs. We'd have it going, casting out of the TVs, and just kind of enjoying the time and enjoying some beverage and just getting our stuff done. But I've done it a few different ways. I feel like because we got to be right back on Saturdays for meetings and stuff like that, I'm not as inclined to stay up too late on a Friday night unless the
Right.
bye week's the next week or something like that. And then plus, we'll come back Sunday afternoons too. So, try just to get sleep when I can if it's in the fall. Try to take care of myself. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I used to be able to just to go all night, pop right back up on 2 hours of sleep, work all day, and maybe take a nap in the Saturday afternoon. But nah, these days I'm like, I'm just gonna go try to get 6 hours of sleep if I can help it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than, after a game in the coach's office when everybody's just kind of debriefing, going through it,
Yes.
whatever, laughing. And, not all of it's great. Sometimes you just lost a heartbreaker. But if you win a game, a close game, whatever, just that feeling in the coach's office, everybody's in a good mood. Booster Club gave us some burgers. We're all munching down, watching whatever on TV. One of the best feelings right there, man. You can't beat that.
I feel like one of my favorite parts about coaching, period, is just the coach's office. And
Yeah, 100%.
talking in the coach's office. I mean, it's like a fraternity. Like,
Yeah.
no hazing involved, but like we're in there and we're telling stories, and every coach has their lore or their aura about them and the places they've been and the experiences they had, and
Yeah.
You know, you're different, and it's been kind of interesting. Like you go from being one of the younger guys on staff to now I'm definitely not one of the younger guys, and you just see like you see all these different perspectives and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's probably like one of my favorite parts about coaching, unrelated to the game, unrelated to
You,
the kids.
you
Like
can't
it's
beat
just
that, man. And it goes back to, just like we said when we played in high school, going through all that crap together. But the time outside of that, when you're going to the buffet or whatever you're doing, it's incredible. You can't beat it, man. Like if you could just bottle that up and sell it, I'd never work another day in my life.
yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons. Like when people talk about trying to quit the team or they're trying to join the
Yeah.
team or whatever the situation is, like man, you're only in high school, one time, and
Yeah.
you really only get the chance to play football like one time.
Yeah.
Like there's no guarantees about college. There really ain't no guarantees about pro.
Yeah.
And
The
you don't
odds
want
are
to be one of
against you.
these. You don't want to be one of these 40-year-olds playing semi-pro for free. 37 you out there
signing a waiver.
Oh my gosh, have you seen some I don't know what Big Brother heard me talk about, but I've seen so many clips lately of 40-year-old dudes out there playing football, like
It's
tackle
great.
football.
It's great entertainment. Great
It is.
entertainment.
I don't know how somebody hasn't captured this market yet. Like you're telling me there are dudes that basically, well, actually for free, they are going to go and risk an ACL
Yeah.
or oh my gosh.
And
And
it's
then
like
some of the
Go ahead. It's like the slap box thing, like the thing on TV now where they just slap the crap out of each other.
yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah.
They tell me that's on TV, but I can't watch semi-professional football. Just a bunch
No,
of grown dudes hitting each other.
Yes, yes. You ought to be able to go watch whatever little podunk semi-pro team from random state. All the guys that just got off work at the plant and they're going and putting a football helmet
Yeah.
on that ain't been reconditioned in 15 years.
Started
Like,
turning
I saw this
yellow.
one guy. Oh, or they don't even have the same color helmet. Like it's just whatever. It's for the love of the game, right?
Helmet.
But this guy, the video said something about it being 37U. He was wearing. Do you remember the badass face mask company? Like
Yeah.
late 2000s, where they would make the whole. There was a face mask that looked like Bane or
Yeah,
Darth
yeah.
Vader.
He had
There
that.
was a guy that had one of those on, and so that tells me right now that helmet is at least 15 years old. Like.
Yeah. That's
And then
definitely
he
out.
had like the mirror visor because there's no rules like about
No.
what you can wear. So
No.
it was like a blue mirror somehow, and
So you
like
can't
the
even
color scheme
tell
was
if
like
he's
black or whatever.
concussed. He's just gonna keep going.
No, how many fingers am I holding up, buddy? My eyes aren't open. Wow.
Yeah. Couldn't tell.
You're all right.
God,
Nah, man, like
that's incredible.
yeah, that's a $1 million idea. If somebody can find a way to get these guys on a streaming service or whatever, just follow a
Yeah.
little semi-pro league around some little backwoods area, and that'll be a grand old time.
That'd be incredible. I'd watch that every night. Man.
Oh, it'd be must-see TV. I'll tell you what else is must-see TV is backyard wrestling. Like those guys.
That's along the same lines. Yeah.
It's in the same vein. Like it is not far off. There's probably a lot of overlap actually. The dudes that will jump off this ring that his uncle and his cousin put together in the
It's just like
backyard.
folding tables under it. Yeah.
There's no springboard. It's literally a table with a
They put a sheet, mama's
something draped over
tablecloth on it,
oh my god.
and then they throw
they're
each
jumping
other
into
like tacks. Like in the WWE. I hate
Yes.
to tell you if you don't know, a lot of that is fake. It's still good
Yeah.
entertainment. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating.
the
on it at all.
hazards are real. The hazards are real.
Yeah, but like not like backyard wrestling, okay? Like WWE, the one wrestling match we used to watch, I remember was like thumbtacks. They threw them on thumbtacks. These dudes are doing it on nails, like 3-inch framing nails,
And not even like fresh out the box nail. It's literally from the garage.
Yeah,
like,
they just
or
did a
the
roofing
shed.
job next door, and they just picked them up and came over.
They got the
No.
metal detector out of the magnet, and they're just scraping all up. We'll reuse these. We'll
Yeah.
make some good use out of it.
Dude, they go crazy.
Or they're like, I saw a guy get thrown off the corner of the ring through like I don't know how many of those like light bulbs they put in schools, and
God,
the long skinny
Yeah,
light
like
bulbs.
the-
Like he
is
went
that
through a pile of
fluorescent?
them. Yeah, the long skinny fluorescent bulbs. I'm like, there's no faking that. Like that dude went through
There's
those light
no
bulbs. That's
faking
like
it.
20 light bulbs he just went through.
And those don't
No
break,
way.
those are like, yeah, I think those are really dangerous if they break. Like the glass gets so small, that dude's tore up. like for real.
Oh, it's bad. It can't be. It's got to be toxic too, like the chemicals or
that
whatever he's
puff or
probably
whatever
breathing.
comes out. Yeah, no, I might
I
have
don't
to
know
watch some
why.
of that.
This made me think of this. Gruesome injuries that you've seen in your days coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like one came to mind when I asked that question.
Yeah, it's always a knee, man. I can't do.
Well, you've got some PTSD from that, I think.
Yeah, that barn really got the best of me back in the day. But yeah, it was probably actually no, it might have been a shoulder. Yeah, the knee when I was in college working, I wasn't coaching. But the shoulder when I was coaching, and it was kickoff, I think. Kickoff. We're kicking the ball off. First play of the game. Like, this is the opening kickoff. This dude is flying down the field about to kill somebody. And, reaches out, misses, overshoots, reaches out, and his arm gets caught, right? He could have grabbed, he didn't grab him, and it just comes back and it like dislocates. And it's just like hanging there. And you got to go, I mean, this is one of your kids, you got to go make sure he's good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was hard to look at. And, the worst one though, knee injuries. I can't do knee injuries, man. Like the ones I saw in college were just gruesome. Like when the knee gets hurt and it just starts like doing that thing where it's like flopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I can't. What about
That's no
you?
bueno. There's been, I don't know what it is. There's been a handful that I've seen that stick out, like after I asked you that. But first thing is, I took a little trip to Sulphur Springs, Texas. It was for a Thursday night football game. And first of all, there was some controversy about whether the game would get played. Weather was crazy. The wind was like 45 miles an hour, something insane.
Jeez.
And, I don't know. The coach suggested that hey, our indoor is 100 yards. Like, we could tell parents to bring lawn chairs and we just play the game in the indoor. So we're like, all right, well, let's do it. You know what? Let's do it. So we load the kids up. First of all, getting there was a struggle because the bus is about to blow over because the wind is like 50 miles an hour or something insane. And then we pull up, and sure enough, yeah, we're in the indoor. Yeah, it's 100 yards, but the space between the wall and the sideline, like, we tried telling our folks, and they tried telling their folks, like, hey, you're going to want to be like in the corners because this is like where the sidelines got to be.
Danger
there was
zone.
not a lot of yeah, that was the splash zone. So we had
Please
talked
tell me.
about this before the game started. About they get near the sideline, it's got to be a quick whistle, and so we thought that was the understanding. We're gonna have a quick whistle. And I'll never forget, I think the first play we were on offense, which took some time because they kicked like 3 straight onside kicks, got them all, and then kept scoring. So we're down 20-0, like out of the gate. Like we were way out of it by the time this thing got rolling. So then we get our first offensive possession. We're running like a jet sweep or something. This kid, like I thought it was going to be like Wile E. Coyote getting put through the wall, and it's just like his outline through the wall. I mean, got smoked. And then, like, after he bounces off the wall, you hear the little whistle in the background, like from the ref. It's like, what are we doing?
Man. That was like 5
That's
seconds.
not even the worst injury. That's just as a team, like that's the most.
Yeah, that's
the most brutal beating I've seen because we were so outmatched. That was the most brutal beating I've ever seen in a sub-varsity football game. I was in the indoor, and like something about the indoor made every hit just like louder. Like it's like echoing, bouncing around. But after the game, and this has been years ago, so and I'm gonna not say any names to protect the innocent, but after the game, we get everybody back. I mean, it's towards the end of the season. We're battered, bruised. We're having a rough year with this group of freshmen that we had. And I'll never forget, like, one of our players got a little certain kind of torsion, if you know what I'm saying, on the back of the bus. So not even because of something that happened in the game, just, I don't know, the beating was so bad that hours later after the game, things got a little twisted up. Yeah, he had to go to the hospital. Like, great kid.
Yeah, no, that's like
there.
serious.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
That could be really bad.
To get beat so bad that hours later, your testicles are then getting twisted up.
Yeah,
like that's next level.
That's the biggest L you can take.
The most in-game gruesome injury I think I've seen was a few years back. It was the last game of the year, and for some reason, the team we were playing, I don't know why, it was another sub-varsity game. Oh, now that I'm thinking about varsity games, there's been some of the varsity games I've seen. Anyway, that's a side note for another day. Probably could do a whole episode on just gruesome injuries, but it was a freshman B-team football game that for some reason was getting played after the A-team game because the team we were playing on varsity that week didn't have a second freshman team. So the way the schedule worked out, our A team, great year, finished undefeated. Even our B team that year won like 8 games. So everybody's having a great year. Well, I think it was a kickoff return. One of our kids, great kid, is bringing it up. And I was turning around talking to the defense about something, and I swore it just sounded like a crash happened, like a vehicle crash. And I turned around and was like, what was that? It turns out like some kid on the kickoff team just went torpedoing into the kid, and femur snapped.
My God.
Femur snapped. So I thought it was a car crash. It's a dude's thigh bone like just snapping. And like, that's a serious thing. So like everything's paused. Like it's like ambulance getting called.
They have to
It
do
might
the
be
air
helicopters
cast on 'em?
coming. Like
what did they?
yeah, it was. Thankfully, the kid wound up being okay, and he's back to playing and stuff. But you want to talk about like scared, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there trying to console your sideline of gold teamers. I'll never forget the A team. Their game was already over. They're in the end zone chilling. They had no idea what happened, so they're down there just fooling around, being idiots.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this kid's like having a life or death situation out here on the field, and
Man,
like just gruesome.
that is brutal.
Probably the sickest. Not necessarily gruesome, like because something snapped in half or whatever.
Yeah.
But just because you think about it happening and you're like, God, that definitely hurt. We were playing this school, and it was right before the half. And so out here, the band performances are a really big deal, right? And usually there's all kinds of props and things that they're wheeling out and stages and all that for this 15-minute halftime show.
Yeah.
And the other team's got the ball. We were on defense, and they throw like a go ball or something, and our safety's having to go pick it up. And he lays out to try to make a pass breakup. And as he's going out the back of the end zone, because, I mean, he left his feet, his head hits one of the band stages that they had rolled up too close to the field because literally time was literally expiring. So they're like, oh, we're going to save some time. And bam, this kid's head just goes off the side of it. Like, you want to talk about like, oh my gosh, how is he even walking right now? Like just painful.
Up?
Painful.
He just got up like he was fine.
Yeah. No, he was
like stumbling.
He was seeing stars.
Yeah.
Like he didn't play the rest of the game. But like it was, you talk about just things you're picturing in your head, like it hurt.
So it was senior night actually this past year, and obviously we're doing we're still in pregame warmups. Game hasn't started yet, and our field goal kicker's kicking some field goals, getting his foot loose, and we're running out our special teams units, counting everybody, make sure we're good. And I'm standing about on the goal line, just watching the kicks, seeing if they're going through. And Boots won. And I look, I'm like, oh, all right. And as I go, I see, and I look towards the fence, and it's our marching band is lined up, ready to get their, senior night presentation at the 50-yard line with everybody. And this girl, that ball hit her right in the face. And it's, I felt so bad. She's a great girl. I've talked to her since, we're good there, but I felt so bad. I mean, this is her senior night, and that football, the best kick he had all night. I hate to say it, but that ball, I mean, end over end, just perfectly. And she had glasses.
It was on target.
It was on, yeah. And so it even cut a little bit. And I think she had a broken nose. And I would say her name, but I won't say it on here. If you know, you know. Again, I'm sorry that happened to you, and I appreciate our marching band. They're great. They support us a lot, and I just really hate for that to happen to her on her senior night. But
yeah, that's tough.
And I just followed it.
That's
the whole
taking
time.
one.
And what was crazy is, when something like that happens, people don't know how to react, and I start walking over there to check on her, make sure she's fine, because I hear her like screaming, and there's people yelling like, "Why would you kick that way?" And look. This is a football field, and it's warm-ups. He's
doing what he's always done at that time of halftime.
Yeah, and the kid even came over and apologized. He didn't mean to do it. It's just a freak accident.
Right.
But this woman is yelling at me, and I'm like, honey, I hadn't kicked the ball. Like, I had nothing to do with the field goal unit, okay? This is just a freak accident, all right? I'm just making sure she's okay. She starts yelling at the referees who had just walked on the field, telling them, I know you have a phone, call 911. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm trying to find our trainer.
Good Lord.
That's probably the quickest person that can help right now. Yeah, no, that was crazy. But she had a great attitude about it. Gave her the ball that hit her and she, still had a little blood stain on it. Gave her, that's hers. a
Little
bad memory, but
keepsake.
still a little memory. You know, I wrote her card. I felt bad. That was her senior night and everything. But yeah, no, she
As one to
got
remember,
smoked.
or it might have got knocked out of her.
Yeah, no, and no, I think she stayed.
Hey, that's a champ right there. Get
She
her a
no,
helmet.
no, for real. She's dedicated. Like she's tough. But and you know, I'll tell you one more quick. I know you might be. I don't know how much time we got left.
It's all good. We'll wrap this up. Yeah, you can go ahead.
So I was at Clemson, right? And we were working, and this is another one, just freak accident. Practice is over. I'm on, if you know Clemson's practice facility, you know what I'm talking about. The turf field, their practice fields are surrounded by a moat. I know that sounds crazy, but a literal moat of water. And there's a huge hill that goes up to Perimeter Road. If you don't know, look it up. We're waiting for Coach Swinney's got everybody up. He's talking. Me and my buddy, we're sitting here just chilling, waiting for him to finish. And you just hear like a screech, like, and everybody's like, "What the?" Like you look around, nothing happened. You're like, "What was that?" And then you hear, it's almost like that scene in Jurassic Park where you just see the T-Rex tear through the trees. You look up on this hill, and there is a car coming backwards down this hill, like towards the moat. And you're like, "Oh my God, that car got hit, and now it's coming down." I'm like, "What has happened?" You don't, you're not thinking. And so,
Yeah.
You're just kind of running on adrenaline at that point. Me and my buddy, we just go take off. We dive in, everybody, a few others come with us. Turns out the kid worked at the facility. He was part of the program. He was coming to work, and that happened. But
Jeez, talk about a bad commute.
Yeah, he was badly hurt. But, got him out, EMS came, everything. He's fine now. But talk about, like, you don't expect that kind of stuff to happen. I'm sitting here thinking about this test I got to study for the next day, and then that kind of thing happens.
Now you're just trying to save a guy's life from drowning,
and you're like,
on a car wreck.
Yeah, like it. Yeah. Anyway, but those are probably the two craziest that I've ever witnessed. But yeah, no, insane.
So yeah, you're telling me, all those football guys and stuff, but yeah, you're one of the few that jumped in there and made something happen.
Well, they stopped them at the edge of the moat. Come on now. Don't want nobody getting hurt now. We got a game this week.
Yeah, we got a game this Saturday. We're trying to win a championship.
I'm kidding, but not really. Yeah.
Man. Good times, man. Well, shoot.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, I ain't got nothing.
Nah, I was about to say, we're hitting that hour mark. I know it's, 11 o'clock back where you're from. I at least got an extra hour here in the Central Time Zone, but
means I got.
But I appreciate you joining with me.
Yeah.
This evening again.
Let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
What's your go-to Gatorade flavor?
I actually am a fan of the lime cucumber.
Okay.
I mean, but I gotta I want it extra salty.
That sounds terrible.
I remember back in the day, growing up,
you want salty cucumber is what you want.
So actually, here's the little cocktail I make. I'll go and I'll buy a jug of pickle juice, all right, and then I'll get like a 0-calorie Gatorade, preferably the lime cucumber. I'll drink a little bit, and then I fill about a quarter of it up with the pickle juice, and I'm freaking.
That's like double cucumber. Pickles are just cucumbers.
It's like in the summer here, it's like 125 degrees. I'm dead. Like, I need salt. Like, you can literally see it. Like, it's all over your shirt, the salt that comes out of you. But
I was expecting
back in the day, I
remember.
Flavor. No, you remember, what was it? Fierce Mango or Fierce Melon. Fierce Melon,
all-time flavor.
All-time Mount Rushmore of Gatorade flavors.
Yeah. So my favorite, Riptide Rush. If you don't know, I know it's psychopathic behavior to know the actual name of a Gatorade flavor, not just a color, but Riptide Rush.
Yeah, that one's purple, right? That's the purple.
Light purple.
Yeah.
Light purple. It's not the Fierce Grape. That's the dark purple.
Fierce Grape is trash, though, by the way.
I got in a heated debate.
I'm not a Fierce Grape guy.
No, who does? I got in a heated debate with a student today about this. That's why I ask if you know who you are, if you're listening. And I'm still right. Riptide Rush is, in my opinion, the best flavor. But this person kept saying it was light grape. That was the flavor. Light grape.
Get out of here with that. My man does not know ball. He don't study game.
Light grape. Like, I'm okay if you don't call it Riptide Rush. I get it. But light purple, if anything, not light grape.
Nah, dude. Riptide Rush is an all-timer, though.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's definitely a different color.
Delicious,
man. But the Fierce Melon is an all-time.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
then
see if they make that.
Fierce Strawberry.
Is that the pink?
I want to say it was pink.
Yeah, that pink's
But I
good. They
remember-
still got that.
I don't even know if they make the Fierce Gatorades anymore, but like those two are all timers for me. But I really hadn't seen them around. That's when I settled on the lime cucumber.
They have they still have the strawberry. I had it the other day.
Okay, all right.
Still got that one. Haven't seen melon. And Riptide Rush is hard to find in a gas station. It really is. But you can't go wrong with like blue, Cool Blue, the regular blue.
Cool Blue's a classic. Yeah, yellow's
Light
a
blue.
classic. Orange is a classic.
Yeah, all the classics are good.
I'm not a huge red. I'm not a huge fan of the red.
You got to be in a mood for it. Can't
I
brush
just
your
don't feel
teeth
like-
before it.
Yeah, I don't feel like the juice is worth the squeeze on that one.
No, it ain't. Yeah, no. I can't believe double cucumber is what I'm going to call it. I can't believe you like that. Pickle juice and cucumber Gatorade.
Lime cucumber, and I'm telling you, throw about a quarter of the bottle with some pickle juice, and it just gives it that tanginess, man. Telling you, it hits different.
I'm
I'll
not
be
drinking
honest, though.
Gatorade.
I drink the Gator Lights.
Yeah.
Whatever. I drink those more because I want
Yeah.
I want the salt. Like I don't know what it is.
Have you ever had
but-
the packets? The Gator Light packets?
Oh yeah, the
Where you
Gator
can
Light
dump 'em in
packets.
whatever?
Yeah,
Those are
those are a
good.
game changer.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are good stuff. Out here, they got a brand called Suero, and it's called Suero, and they got Suero Light or whatever, Suero Zero. I don't know, but it's like Pedialyte, Gatorade, or whatever. But it's always cheaper. Like it's always,
Yeah.
and then all the ingredients are always in Spanish, dude. It hits different. Like I don't know what they got going on, but those dudes that are working pretty hard out there, they can't be all wrong about how they're
Yeah.
staying hydrated.
Now, have you ever heard of Squincher? You know what I'm talking about when I say Squincher?
I have not heard of Squincher.
Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Squincher. Right? It's like
Squincher.
a yellow package. Let's see. Hold on. Squincher.
Dude, I don't know.
I always see it on videos where it's like, your job is about to work you to death when they put these out. And it's
Is
just
it the little popsicle?
Squincher Pops. Yeah, squeeze.
Yeah.
Squincher squeeze. Yeah, have you ever
Oh,
had
man.
those? They're terrible.
I have not. I've never been that down bad for some,
Squincher squeeze,
for some electrolytes.
No, those are terrible. Look at that.
Ah.
Come on. Squincher squeeze.
I'll never forget. They had this stuff for a while, but then I guess I probably bought them all. But there's a little independent gas station near where we live, and going there one time, they had this stuff called BioLite. So I grabbed one. I'm like, yeah, never tried that before, but I like Pedialyte and all that. And
Yeah.
they're kind of branded it as the IV in a bottle or whatever. So I go and I put it on the counter. Something was wrong with the system. They scanned the thing. It said 10 cents. And so I looked at the lady like, obviously it's wrong, right? Nothing in this gas. It's 2024 or whatever.
You're coming
it was.
home with me.
Nothing is 10 cents anymore. But she was like going to ring it up. I said, just give me 1 second. I went back and took every bottle off the shelf.
Yeah, 10 cents. Are you kidding?
I mean, it had to be a screw up, and I probably should feel more bad about it. But I
No,
thought
I
they were going to
definitely
say something. But no, I paid like $10 for who knows how many bottles I had. I mean, it was enough to last me like a month, like drinking them every day, twice a day.
Same.
Nah, dude. They got to do it. Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, I would have done the same. Even if it was double cucumber, I would have bought a bunch of them if it was 10 cents. What is there a saying, a meme, whatever you want to call it, meme, video, whatever. I caught myself doing this today. That's what makes me think of it. So, you ever seen the video, what the dog doing? You know what I'm talking
I have
about?
not seen that one. Nah,
Oh
I
my
might be out of touch, man.
Yeah, come on, man. So I say that religiously all the time, randomly. It's just like a, whatever.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing?
Man,
You've seen it. It's a Vine, I think.
the biggest meme or trend that I think has rocked my household lately is the Minecraft movie getting just terrorized by teenagers. I guess when
Oh,
Jack Black says certain lines, it's all the videos I saw, popcorn going everywhere, slushies
Jeez.
going everywhere. And,
Kids, oh man.
I was talking about it with my students earlier, which my kids are young and they thought the little videos were funny as crap. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
somebody's got to clean up the mess.
Right.
This is causing problems.
Yeah, that might be
And
you
this-
over the summer, buddy, having to clean that up.
Yeah,
That might be
like-
your summer job.
As long as this is happening, we're not going to see the Minecraft movie. But I go and I talk about it with my class, and one of my students actually had a great idea. He was like, hey, I'm going to go see the Minecraft movie. I'm going to invite some friends that I know are going to act a fool, but I'm going to sit away from them. And when they go act a fool, I'm going to go ask for a refund. And so light bulb goes off in my head, and I'm
Man.
like, dude, I might bring my whole crew, and if something goes off, like I'll be first one to say, "Hey, look, let me go ahead and get my money back. We
This
got
is
covered in
unacceptable.
popcorn, and
Yeah, this is terrible.
this is just can't have this happen." But yeah,
No, there's
the
that
master
one.
plan.
Do your kids do the 6-7 thing? 6-7.
I
You ever
have
heard
I've
that?
heard my players say it, yeah, but I don't know where it came from.
I have no idea where any of these came from. I say them now just to mess with them, really. Like they'll say something random and I just say clock it. Don't know what that means. I hope it's nothing bad, but they seem to enjoy it. I can't believe
I'm
you've never
getting to
seen the
that.
What the Dog Doing.
Back it up, Terry is the vine that I'm thinking of
Put it in reverse,
that just
Terry.
sticks out when I
Yeah,
think.
no,
You
that's
put
a
it in
good one.
reverse, Terry. Yeah,
That's
back
a
it
good
up,
one.
Terry. Especially if you got a player named Terry, like it's
Yeah.
nonstop. Always dropping that one, but that one's got some years under its belt now. That one's been around for a minute.
Yeah, no, I made a soundboard on my computer with just random audio clips of these videos, right? There's like the emotional damage one. You ever seen that? Emotional damage. No, all right. Well, I'm gonna stop imitating these because you've never seen them.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I might be out of touch, man.
I have all these just on a soundboard. I'll just play them randomly. Kids love it. Some hate it. I don't really care either way. It's fun for me.
It's provocative, gets people going, you know.
Right. I'm just trying to be a little different, spice it up every now and then,
I like to give my students something that they might remember, like when they go home, like,
Yeah.
and they think about their day. Like if I can just give them something,
Yeah.
some moment that maybe stands out, I feel like I did a pretty decent job that day.
Yeah.
But, well, man, I know it's getting pretty late. I appreciate your time again.
Always,
For
man.
you guys that aren't already following him, at Jack Wardlaw on just about everything, right?
Yeah, except YouTube, because somebody stole my freaking username on YouTube, but whatever. Yeah, anything but YouTube. It's just Jack Wardlaw.
So, yeah, you guys be sure to drop him a follow. I'm at Coach Wardlaw on just about every social media I got. But this is the Fourth and Ward Show. Again, I don't know how you're listening to it, Spotify, Apple. If you're watching it on YouTube, go ahead and drop that 5-star rating. Go ahead and drop us a comment with some conversation topics or some questions you'd like us to talk about. And if you got any suggestions for guests that you'd like to have for us to have on, we're always open to suggestions and making this roll. We got new episodes coming out every Sunday, and we appreciate you guys being with us.
Yeah. And if you're one of my students, get off the game, go to bed. You got school
Get some
tomorrow.
rest.
Yeah.